The starter loadout is way better than we think. It actually offers a pretty balanced loadout ranging from swarm clearing choices to even some of the best anti-tank solutions. Today, we're going to be taking a fully level 1 loadout into the hardest difficulty in Helldivers 2, the Super Helldive difficulty, completely solo while going for a complete map clear, including the Meganess. Now, to be fair, I do have ship module upgrades, and this is going to make our sentries a little bit better, as well as make our eagle stratagems a little bit better as well. And the problem is we can't turn these off, so sadly we're gonna have to work with this. Other than that though, absolutely everything else is level 1 only. We're gonna be starting off with the classic Helldivers 2 armor set, the BO1 tactical with the extra padding, which provides a higher armor rating. We're also gonna be bringing the classic helmet and cape as well, because why not? We gotta match the drip. Over at the weapons, we're gonna be bringing the classic Liberator, which is not customized at all. This is it on its fully default. And over at the secondary, we're going to be bringing the starter pistol as well, which is the P2 Peacemaker. It's actually a pretty good pistol, by the way. And over at grenades, we're going to be bringing the high explosive grenade, as that's what we start with. Moving over to the stratagems, we've got the machine gun as our starter weapon, as well as the orbital precision strike as our starter anti-tank solution. For the other two stratagem choices, since we have to pick something, we went with the cheapest level 1 options available that can be achieved shortly after completing a few games. First of all, the Eagle Strafing Run, which is going to be our mix of swarm clearing and anti-tank balanced choice. And finally, the Machine Gun Sentry, which will serve to attract aggro, as well as, of course, kill smaller enemies that give us a hard time. But without any further ado, let's learn how we can make this loadout work against the terminids on max difficulty while going for a full map clear. Alright, so let's dive right into it. Today's commentary is going to be a post-game commentary, not a live one. The reason for that is usually when I do live commentary, I kind of have a hard time explaining why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I have my mind in two different places, one on the gameplay and one on the commentary. So I figured we might as well do a post-game commentary for this one, and yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We call in the resupply here, and we follow it up with the machine gun. We always do the resupply first because the resupply takes a little bit longer to land. We start off right next to a Shrieker Nest, which is ideal for us. We just crank up the machine gun RPM here, and we get to work. By the way, the game at this point was giving us a free orbital napalm barrage as well as a free FRV. But we ignore that completely, okay? We do not use it even a single time, so you will be seeing that on the stratagem list, as we're calling in stratagems, but no, we don't use that at all this game. We're just shooting this down, getting rid of that first initial side objective, which is quite ideal because this game, I'm pretty sure, is a bug spore map, so we don't really see anything on the map. We just kind of have to walk around the map and figure it out on our own. So it's good that we get a side objective early on like that. Do a quick reload there on the machine gun, and we top it off, and off we go. Luckily enough, we also spawn right next to a siege artillery here. And at this point, we're going to be kind of hoping for mini nukes, high yield explosives, as well as explosives. Those are kind of like best case scenarios. But at the same time, I also want to complete this as quick as possible. So let's see what we find. Got 2 explosives and a napalm. Make that 1 high yield explosive. And that's it. 2 napalms, 2 explosives, and 1 high yield. That's pretty good. Let's call in here, start this off. I noticed the bugs kind of coming down that hill, so we get the machine gun sentry. Machine gun sentry is going to be holding back those bugs a little bit. Machine gun sentry is also really good at just drawing aggro. It keeps them busy, and it allows me to just push for the siege artillery here without even actually having to worry about them. Finish it off, and off we go. 2 side objectives in about 3 minutes. Pretty good. Going pretty fast. So far, no bug breach. So we're just going to keep pushing and seeing if we can find nests or side objectives. Looking at the map, trying to understand what I can see here. I think this is a stalker layer. I'm kind of looking at it. I'm thinking, yeah, let's go over there because I think that's going to be a stalker layer. But as it turns out, I guess it was this, or maybe not. At this point, I remember thinking, yeah, okay, so it was a Shrieker nest. I thought it was going to be a Stalker lair. But we're just going to focus on shooting this down. I'm going to do this as quick as possible before a bug breach comes in. And comes out anyways. But at this point, we got to retreat. We're not going to be able to just sit there shooting it out. So we get the first Eagle Strafe and run here right towards the bug breach. Hoping to get as many kills as possible. Get these Shriekers out of the air, or else they're going to be giving us a hard time. And it's time to get to work. I make a pretty huge mistake here. I had a lot of space to work there with, but I'm not going to lie. I thought I killed that hunter. I thought that hunter was decapitated. And I just kind of waited for it to die. But it was never decapitated. There was just blood on its face, but it was never dead. So that was, that was a horrible mistake. But we recover, no problem. Part of Helldivers. It is what it is. Tons and tons of pouncers. Machine gun sentry can actually get to work here. We see the hell bomb here on the rock to our left. But we're going to be waiting to get some big armored enemies on it to make use of it. Try to call in an OPS. We see it misses horribly. So let's use the hell bomb here to our advantage. Down goes the charger. That's going to save us some time. Which, by the way, chargers are going to be our hardest enemy here to handle. It's not going to be the Bile Titans. It's not going to be the Impalers. Those can be handled by OPS pretty easily. The Orbital Precision Strike. But chargers, since they're really fast, kind of gives us quite a bit hard time. This is when I noticed that what I'm pinging on the map is not the same as the Shrieker nest. So I'm still thinking it's a Stalker layer there. I honestly don't remember. I'm doing a post-game commentary, but I honestly don't remember if it turns out to be a Stalker layer. But I do remember thinking that it was a Stalker layer. Trying to get a reload here. Shriekers can't really hit you when you're prone. I'm just chilling here trying to get rid of this Shrieker nest. Machine gun sentry to kind of cover us while we're doing our thing. And down goes the nest. That's 3 side objectives already within 5 minutes. That's pretty good. We're going pretty fast here. And we want to get a nice resupply here because we're running low on ammo and machine gun. We're pretty low on syringes already as well. We pretty much need to use another one. And I'm just checking here the edge of the map. I think I spot out a bug nest. But it turned out that it wasn't a bug nest. It was just a Shrieker nest. So I'm just checking out the map to see what we can figure out. And I confirmed by looking at the map there that what I'm pinging is not the Shrieker nest. It definitely was in a different direction. So let's go ahead and check out what that was. So far, so good. Not much of a pressure. But yeah, as I was saying, the chargers are going to be our hardest enemies to kind of go up against. Since they're a lot faster, a lot more mobile. And we don't have that many answers to them. So we kind of have the nades and shooting their butts. That's like best case scenario. That's the biggest weakness of this loadout for sure. At this point, we're trying to snipe out the Alpha Commanders here. But they don't get their little reinforcements out. Bug breach is out though. So I decide I'm just going to sit here and fight this off as long as I can before I have to pivot. I actually reloaded cancel there by accident. We continue just hammering it into them, trying to hold back this bug breach as much as we can. Get a nice Eagle strafe and run right in the chunk of them. A couple of grenades to do AoE damage. We're up to 65 kills, pretty good. Down we throw an OPS, because since this fog just came up, I know that there's a Spore Charger in there. I didn't even realize the Impaler. I only realized it after the tentacles came up. The OPS was intended for the Charger. So we're going to try to finish it off with the strafe and run here. As I see it kind of pushing us, we get a nice beefy hit on it. We throw a grenade to see if we can finish it off. Still up, it seems. And I make a very questionable choice here. I drop in the nest. But then I realize that we don't have resupplies and we don't have nades. We can't close those bug holes. That was not a very good decision. In my head, I remember thinking I'm gonna drop in and I'm gonna start closing bug holes. Since we gotta start working into it. I haven't even started working into it. But I forgot that I had 0 nades, so there's nothing I can do here. So we're running right back out of the nest. Calling in a machine gun sentry. Finish off the survivors here from the bug breach. We gotta remember we can't take too long when we're handling bug. Ooh, okay, that even caught me off guard. Post-game commentary. I forgot about that. Okay. The sport charger makes his way to us. Once again, we get caught for not paying attention to details. That's how Helldivers works. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that that charger was a stealth charger in the sense that it was silent when it shouldn't have been. Either way, though, another mistake. We knew the sport charger was still alive. There was no reason for us to just ignore it. We had to just pay attention there. Still goes to show, though, even with a couple of mistakes, you can still pull off a pretty solid win. Gotta learn how to just reset and reapproach the mission a little bit more differently. At this point, I'm paying more attention to the details. So we finally managed to get rid of everybody. Resupply. Now we have tons of grenades. We know this is our chance to kind of finally finish off this bug nest. 1 nade on that hole. 1 nade here. Now we got 3 more holes to go. We got 2 nades in hand.
Fire in the hole!
Get a nade there. And this one. And now I just know I need to hit this last one with a stratagem, and I opt in for just a sentry. But it bounces off, and I kind of miss it, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it doesn't go through. Yep. It misses because it bounces off. It does the classic Helldiver stratagem bounce, and I end up wasting a stratagem there. It's time to call an OPS. OPS finishes off the heavy bug nest. That took us quite a while. A little bit longer than I wanted, but at least that's one of the heavy bug nests out of the game. We start pushing out towards these 2 main objectives. They're pretty close to us, and they're right next to each other. But I'm still paying attention to the horizon. I'm trying to check out what we got. We see another Shrieker nest here. That's going to make our 4th side objective. And we also see the broadcast signal there in the corner, which is our 5th side objective. So at this point, we've already gotten all side objectives in front of us. We just got to finish them off. I'm just going to start pushing for the main objective first, though. We're running pretty low on machine gun. If I just sit there shooting the Shrieker nest, we're going to run out of machine gun, and we're not going to be able to defend ourselves in case we get pushed, because our resupply is also on cooldown. So I figured, all right, I'll just leave the Shrieker nest for later, since it's pretty far away anyways. You can also snipe out the Shrieker nest from the objective, ideally, so we can use that to our advantage. At this point, I know bug... Okay, see, right there, he tried to call for a bug breach. As I was gonna say, I know at this point, bug breach is pretty much off cooldown. Get rid of that hunter as quick as I can before he calls for reinforcements. So I know that it's off cooldown, and I know that the next small guy that comes through is gonna call for reinforcements. So what I'm thinking here is, okay, let me try to push this primary objective as far as I can before that reinforcement arrives. I call the resupply there a little bit too close to the machine gun sentry. And we start doing these mini games before the bug breach arrives. If the bug breach arrived before we did this mini game, this would have delayed us several minutes. So it was a very good thing that we did it as soon as possible. At this point, we just gotta wait for the generator, so we're chilling. Even if they call for a bug breach, we're vibing. Top off everything. Generator's about to finish. We get the resupply because we forgot to get the final one. And we finish off the generator. That's a quick main objective. I still know though that the bug breach is about to come through. Next little guy that kind of spots us out is gonna call for it. I killed that bug, but I remember thinking at this point, no, I actually gotta let them call for reinforcement so we can just kind of reposition ourselves. Trying to finish off that Shrieker Nest before hunters are an issue. We don't quite manage to do it in time. I know it's almost dead though. We laid a ton of shots on it. Don't want to get too close so it doesn't start spawning Shriekers. And we actually got it on the final bullet. Machine gun sentry got called in a little bit too close there. I know best case scenario is just going to be aggro for a few seconds, but it's not going to do too much. Try to land a strafing run. That's gonna kind of hit the Bile Titan a little bit. And I see the Shrieker up top as well. We gotta get rid of that. It's the only Shrieker in the skies, and we gotta get rid of it because they're gonna be sniping us out if we just leave it alone. Trying to make sure we land the OPS though, which does the job beautifully. And we're through with the Bile Titan. Gotta make sure the Alpha Commanders as well aren't getting just free reinforcements. And right now we're chilling. Getting the machine gun topped off. We still know that Shrieker is still up. And get the final Shrieker out of the game. And at this point, we no longer have to worry about Shriekers in the game.
Have a taste of democracy.
For this game, I opted in mostly to play more aggressively. You could also just kind of run away from fights as much as possible if you want to play it overly safe. That was not my goal with this game. My goal with this game was to actually expose ourselves to a ton of fights so that I kind of showed how I would go on about dealing with them. So like for example in this scenario, you could have just ran away to another side objective or main objective and then come back here later, but instead I'm kind of pushing through the bug breach a little bit. It of course has a ton of risks, but it does show gameplay a little bit more. We gotta handle the Impaler here. We cannot leave it alive. I was trying to hope that this rock was gonna cut line of sight from it and it would have stopped calling in tentacles, which is why I'm kind of hanging around here. And it does work eventually. It does stop calling in for the tentacles. We get a quick reload off and top off on resupplies, and we make a little push here for the objective. Impalers disappeared for now. We're just going to do a little bit of a push here before we get overwhelmed again. Try to snipe out the Alpha Commanders first so they don't be calling for many reinforcements, but a bug breach comes right through. So it's time for us to kind of clear out the bug breach a little bit, or else we're not going to be able to finish off this side objective, or a main objective rather.
That's called democracy.
Machine gun is up. I know I'm in the line of sight of it. Go prone here to kind of avoid it just in case. Cut to the right a little bit. Big Siege Artillery. I know the first one is a high yield explosive, and I'm just kind of hoping that it's going to be right on the Impaler, which it is. Pretty good toss. Nice free Impaler kill there with the Siege Artillery. I also could have used the OPS, but I figured why not just use this, you know. Bug breach is pretty quickly handled. It was a pretty small one. I shoot this patrol here behind us, but in retrospect, I'm looking at it, it wasn't really worth shooting at. I think at this point, I'm just like, just wanting to fight everything. Just putting my two hands up and catch these hands. And Bile Titan just spawned there. You guys saw that? It literally just spawned on our screen. That's something else. We do have an OPS though for it. I want to get this typed in though. We fuck up the command, and we almost died. Still get the machine gun sentry off. That's a good thing about the machine gun, by the way. The machine gun sentry, the cooldown is so low. You can get it so often. That's a beautiful OPS. Does quite miss though. Trying to shoot out the belly. This way now it has to stomp us. It can't do the spit attack anymore. Almost did stomp us. Big eagle strafe and run right on it. It kind of misses it. It hits the legs a little bit, but it doesn't hit the bulk of it. And I'm gonna go and try to finally finish this. We finally do. Try to get a few shots on its chest. Try to do some damage. I'm trying to just get rid of it with the machine gun. I blow up the chest as well. Still up. And we kind of commit here a little bit to just trying to get it with the machine gun. Call in this machine gun because I'm trying to slam it down with the machine gun, which is almost perfect, but it doesn't quite do it. Try to predict its pathing, which I did do quite a good job at it, but I underestimated the speed of the Bile Titan. Bug breach is coming through. I just realized at this point, I'm like, wait a second, we've been through like 2 or 3 bug breaches here and we still haven't done the objective. We really got to get going here. At this point, I'm wasting tons and tons of times. Looking back at it, we really did waste a dramatic amount of time with this Bile Titan. There was no need to just try to get rid of it. We could have just kited it around. And I'm surely realizing this as I'm going through with the gameplay as well. The OPS finally does do the job though. And I know I'm going to have to face this bug breach. I'm not just going to be able to get in there and just finish off the main objective.
Have a taste of democracy.
What's interesting about this loadout is overall it's pretty good against everything. It's not S tier by any means. I mean, it's pretty clearly not S tier, but it is very, very good. It's a lot better than we think, and it's a lot more balanced as well. Like if we went up against Bile Spewers, for example, that would not have been an issue either. The machine gun can go right through those Bile Spewers. It just shreds them. At this point, I see the SSD. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get this and get the hell out of here. It's taking way too long. Let's just go, go, go. I see that the broadcast signal, of course, is on the way. So we're going to handle that. And I also see that the main objective is closer than the Mega Nest is. So ideally, I prefer doing the Mega Nest before finishing the main objective, because once you finish the main objective, it just spawns a lot more enemies. So I figure we're gonna be better off we're just gonna bring the SSD to the main objective. We'll drop it there, and then we'll go do the Mega Nest real quick, and then we'll come back to the main objective. See another Mega Nest on the way. Not Mega Nest, apologies. I see another nest on the way. I figure, okay, nice, cool. Quick one for us to complete. We got 4 nades. We got 5 bug holes. Gonna be pretty decent for us. Set up a machine gun sentry. Throw an eagle strafe and run. And I think, but before I do this, just chuck a couple of grenades here. I don't know if they're gonna land or not, but I'm actually just gonna go bring the SSD to the main objective and drop it off there first before I worry about this nest. Because I want to get rid of just this SSD. I want to get it in position so that later on, you know, I just kind of have a better mental clock of how long I got to complete each side objective and stuff. And if I just drop off the SSD here and here, now I know that this main objective really doesn't need much more to be completed. That way I can secure the win. I was about to leave, but I decided I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to call in the resupplies, get some grenades for that nest that we just faced, and we're actually going to push the objective here a little bit as well. Get it nice and set up to like pretty much nearly be done. And then we come back to it later. We raise the satellite tower. get rid of a couple of alpha commanders on the stationary spots. That way, when we come back to this main objective is a tiny bit easier for us to complete. Get a machine gun sentry just to clear it up a little bit more. And at this point, I'm just waiting to see how the antenna will look. Whether I need to turn it 90 degrees to the left, 90 degrees to the right, if it's perfect where it is, or if I need to, you know. At this point, I just want to see what I'm going to need to do. So I see that I'm going to have to do a 180-degree turn when I come back to this antenna, which we're not going to do now. So I make a mental note. Okay, when I go to the antenna, just turn it 180 degrees, and we're good to go. Pushing back onto the nest that we were facing earlier, which we threw a couple of grenades. I believe we only landed 1 out of the 4, which is embarrassing, but it is what it is.
Say hello to democracy.
I do know, though, that I do have enough nades here for all of the holes. Pretty horrible dive there, but it is what it is. Nest is nice and clear now, thanks to small push that we made earlier. Problem are these random spawns. That's a big flank. Silent warrior just creeps up to us. Another one.
Grenade!
2 nades. And the final one.
Grenade!
Nest is done. We've officially completed a big nest as well as a medium nest as well. At this point, we've got 15 minutes. Time is very, very short. I think it's around this time where it clicks to me like, wait a second, we're actually getting really close. And we still haven't even started working on the mega nest, which is going to be the hardest part for us considering we're using this loadout. So I think it's around this point where I'm like, wait a second, holy shit, we got 15 minutes, we gotta go. I go in here though because I am looking for nades, ideally. I don't exactly remember whether this point of interest has grenades for us, but it's only ammo and some stims as well. No nades. So we're kind of short on nades for the mega nest. It's not looking very good, honestly. We got 0 nades. And we got about 10 holes for us to close on the mega nest. Resupply bounces in. Another that thing. Throw an OPS right on that impeller. So usually when I'm handling mega nests, what I like doing is working the impellers. Usually mega nests have like 4 to 5 impellers or so. And I'm trying to handle them. C4 artillery right in the Titan hole, and the charger gets a big hit on our back. I think this C4 artillery does pull through though, if I remember correctly. Yes, that's correct. And we start nuking the bugs with the strafe and run as much as we can. First bug breach comes through. Get that charger stuck on the wall. More Eagle strafe and runs to try to nuke it down. Try to do a nice reload here. Get another big Eagle strafe and run. Trying to get rid of that Bile Titan with the strafe and runs if possible. Give it a quick look. Still up. We're going to be using a machine gun here to close an extra hole for us. It does glue to the floor as it should, so that's another hole secured. And the Bile Titan actually manages to kill itself by spitting at the rock, which is good and bad at the same time because we called in a C4 artillery to use on it. But it actually just ended up killing itself. 3 chargers grouped up. OPS goes right in the middle of them. Not a single one of them died. That's where the 500 kilo bomb shines. 500 kilo bomb, 2 uses, shorter cooldown, and it would have gotten all 3 there easily. Stepping about every mine we come across in the game. I think that rock was gonna stop that charger, but it didn't. So the issue there was I didn't realize that was one of those breakable rocks. I baited the charger into it because I thought it was gonna slam it and get stunned, but it was actually a breakable one. Machine gun is stuck in there. I know at this point that machine gun is cooked, and the more I'm moving here, the more I'm attracting bugs. Time is ticking. Not looking too good. See a nice EAT here. I think, all right, perfect. This is good for at least one charger. Big guy down. Sniping out Alpha Commanders whenever I get the chance. Didn't quite finish that Alpha Commander though that I was shooting. Eagle Strafing Run is coming back, which is going to be pretty good to clear out this massive amount of bugs. Another big bug breach. Really not good. I think it was around this point that I'm thinking like, dude, is it okay if I use an orbital napalm barrage? At this point, one single orbital napalm barrage would have cleared that entire group. But of course, I don't use it. Big Eagle Strafing Run, 15 kills. All in another one. And I'm thinking at this point, okay, we got an Impaler, we got a Bile Titan. Maybe we can get to the Mega Nest without worrying too much about these. I'm just going to go for the machine gun that I called in for that bug hole. I think it's a little bit safer. We got resupplies here as well. And I see that the Mega Nest is pretty clear. We did successfully attract most of the bugs out of the Mega Nest, which is something. That's a broken bug hole right there, by the way. So we have to break that with the machine gun sentry. A nade won't cut it. We got a bigger hole there. Try to land it with a nade. I actually don't remember if I managed it. I did manage it. We got two more impellers here just hanging together. Big OPS. Try to chuck it in the middle of them. Best case scenario, we get both kills. Solid hit on one. But the other one is intact. So we do one more Siege Artillery. Should get the job done. But it ended up dying anyways, due to the bleed damage. Siege Artillery was the napalm anyway, so it wasn't going to do too much. Throw the final Eagle Strafing Run. I don't want to hold into it. I want the Eagle to rearm because I want to be spamming these Strafing Runs as much as possible. We just got to find some space here to kind of get these final four. Try to go in through the gap there, but it doesn't quite work. Helldiver can't climb it for some reason. The final Siege Artillery. I know it's just a napalm as well, but it was more of a desperate call than anything. There's a machine gun for us. We had even forgotten that we were without a machine gun. And one more hole at this point. 3 holes to go. Bile Titan does manage the spit though. Kind of sprinted right back into it. Slammed down one hole, and now we only got 2 to go. That death was actually ended up being a good thing. We got an OPS right on that Impaler, and we managed to get all of the final bug holes. So that death turned out to be pretty decent, which is something to consider as well in Helldivers 2, especially when you're playing solo. Deaths can be strategic. That was not a strategic death whatsoever, what I did there. I actually just died because I just died. But deaths can be really used strategically in this game, especially in grouped queues. Because you can die on one side of the map and you can have your teammate just pretty much teleport you across the map. If he is on the other side of the map, he can just reinforce you there. So it just allows you to reposition yourself a lot better. So we got a big bug breach here. I'm shooting the bugs, but honestly, in retrospect, that was a waste of time. There's no reason for me to be fighting this. We gotta get going. We gotta get out of here. Quick stim. I'm thinking I'm dead here, but we somehow find a small frame to get out. And it's time to start nuking them with Eagle Strafing Runs. That right there was a glitch. Sometimes my my character gets stuck when moving forward because of my key binding for my stratagem call-in. But it's fine. Didn't cost our life or anything. It just cost a stim. Running back to the main objective. At this point, I'm thinking, all right, we got it. We got all final. We got all side objectives. We got the mega nest, and now all we need to do is complete the main objective.
Sending down sentry.
At this point, I'm not exactly sure if I was aware,
Sending down equipment package.
but I am missing one heavy bug nest. I don't quite recall if I was aware of this situation of me missing a heavy bug nest, or if I just hadn't found it by walking around the map. Because since we have the bug spore map modifier, we can't look at the map and find the nest, so we kind of have to luckily run across it. Pre-stim to try to prevent the fall damage, but the game kind of glitches out and doesn't actually even take any fall damage. And we're pretty much done with the mission here. So that is pretty much all of the side objectives, all of the main objectives, a medium bug nest, a mega nest, and a heavy nest. At this point in game, I'm not exactly sure if I've killed all heavy bug nests, which is why I'm just kind of staring at the minimap. I'm thinking, have I finished it? Then I see this patrol coming from the north side. What this means is, usually, when you've completed all nests in the game, the patrols always spawn from the closest edge of the map.
Get some!
Okay, so at this point, since I saw that this patrol spawned from the closest edge of the map, I'm thinking, wait a second, if they're spawning there, which I pointed out right there, if they're spawning there, then that means we finished everything, right? Because they're spawning from the closest edge of the map. So at this point, I'm under the impression that I did actually finish all the nests. I just didn't remember it. But at this point, I had not actually finished all the bug nests. I was still missing one heavy bug nest, which we never spotted out. And that's due to the bug spore modifier on the map. If we didn't have this modifier, we would have pushed for that final nest. But at this point, I'm thinking I've completed everything. So what we do instead, these bugs call in for a bug breach, and what we do instead of searching for that bug nest, I'm just thinking, all right, you know what? Let's kill then. Let's just fight. Get our hands dirty. So we go strafe and run right into the bug breach. I get shot from machine gun sentry that I called a long time ago. It's still alive there. Charger gets stuck on the wall. OPS right on it. And an eagle strafe and run as well. OPS gets the charger, strafe and run gets the impaler. Beautiful call-ins. Excuse me. Quick few kills. I'm thinking, all right, let's push for the extraction. We can't take too long, because if we go to the extraction after the time ends, and I actually end up dying, this video's cooked. Chop off the heads off the alpha commanders so they don't continue calling in for reinforcements. Clear them out. And an easy wipe. Let's keep it moving. I go back in here because I remember there were some stims and ammo, but there wasn't anything I wanted. I throw a nade in there because usually that point of interest has a door there that you can blow up. But after I threw the nade, I realized that it wasn't that type of a point of interest. So we go into this other point of interest because I know sometimes it has supplies in here as well. But once again, nothing that we needed. And honestly, looking back at it, it's kind of weird that we never found that final heavy bug nest. We kind of went through the entire map. We went through the center of it, south of it. I think the only place it could be is on the east side of the map, below the mega nest. But we never found it. And I was already under the impression that we had completed anyways. If I knew we were missing a bug nest, we would have had enough time here. We had, what, like 4 minutes to complete it. We could have run in there, throw a couple nades. Especially considering this final heavy bug nest, it was probably going to be that version that only has 3 bug holes, which is pretty easy to complete. Another big bug breach. This is a bit scary because it's right on extraction. Get a machine gun sentry. We're thinking of fighting this off. You go strafe and run. And an OPS right on the Bile Titan. And I'm thinking I want to clear this bug breach before I call in for extraction, or else we're going to end up getting in a reinforcement loop and we might lose the game here. Trying to land shots on its belly, but that leg is perfectly blocking it. But we do manage to finally destroy the belly. Bile Titan can only step on us. It no longer has the spit attack. What I'm looking for here is actually hell bombs. I remember thinking, okay, let's find a hell bomb and kill off this Bile Titan that way. But we didn't quite find anything.
Sending down support weapon. 1 minute left. Destroyer preparing to leave.
We got a minute left. Not really worth calling the reinforcement at this point. Almost die there, but we do manage to get away with the dive stem. We got 2 big guys we got to get rid of. We got the Impaler. And we got the Bile Titan. Impaler just gave us the neck. We look for a window of opportunity there. We don't quite manage it though. OPS is back, however. Bile Titan is kind of stuck, so I figure, you know what? OPS on you to guarantee that kill. And this Impaler I can actually handle with regular weapons if the neck goes down again. But then another Impaler shows up to the fight. I don't even know why I even tried to type that. There's only 5 seconds left. I don't know why I tried to type that in. I think at this point I'm just feeling confident, so I'm just kind of walking around them, no problem. We figure, all right, at this point, yeah, let's just gain some distance. Let's work the map a little bit, move around, play with them. Bait them out, trying to attract them away from the extraction so that we can go back there a little bit more safely.
ETA T-minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
We have no stratagems anymore, so at this point I'm back to looking for hell bombs. Trying to get this Bile Titan off of us. If we got that pressure off of us, it would spare us a lot. We're doing damage, but the big guy won't go down. Down goes a Bile Titan. That's probably the only kill I've ever gotten on a Bile Titan with a Liberator, to be honest. Liberator Bile Titan kill is something else. At this point, I'm just playing with them, keeping my distance, just trying to dwindle down their numbers a little bit, weaken them out, soften them out. Huge flank there. Almost got a kill on us. It was almost a horrible mistake. Sometimes it happens to me quite a lot. I do get overconfident with my positioning. Down to a minute. Just gotta kite them for a little bit longer. Time to put a little bit of distance between us and the enemies. Felt that RPM was a little bit too low. That's because we swapped machine guns earlier. One big nade on him. Another one to try to hold them back.
T-minus 30 seconds.
And we got 25 seconds left. Almost done. You know we can withstand here a couple of hits.
T-minus 20 seconds.
And we're on the extraction. 10 seconds to go. We're almost there. Almost there.
10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
Resupplies are down here. We go secure that for those stims. Try to get rid of as many as we can here. And comes a Pelican 1. Let's go, baby. Get us out of here. Let's go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, the loadout is honestly pretty decent, man. Especially if we were against bow spewers, it would have worked even better. The reason being, strafing runs absolutely dominate bow spewers. The machine gun is also pretty good against it. You know, the bow spewers would not have been any issue. There aren't really that many variants of the bugs that would have been an issue. Like if we were fighting against a predator strain, yeah, we probably couldn't have handled it with the starter gear, but I think it just kind of goes to show that it can do pretty good even on the max difficulty, even against Meganists. I also thought about Illuminate or bots, but I actually figured those factions would have even been a little bit easier. So I kind of opted in for this one because I thought it was going to be a little bit harder because we would have been, you know, because we were pressured pretty much the entire game. Since we got the Pouncer Planet, we got tons and tons of kills, as you probably saw from the thumbnail. See how many kills we got. Spoiler alert. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, man. This was the starter gear loadout run. Hope the post-game commentary was a bit useful as well. 1,092 kills. Oh, almost 7,000 shots fired. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, man. And I'll be catching you legends on the next one. Peace.